welcome back. We have one place left to check on the Courageous, which is down here, the Orbital Factory. /hold, it's the hangar, everyone. Ding dong. Yes. Said that kind of seductive. That's weird. Nice. That doesn't help. So this is where the Orbital Factory is. I could see myself coming here pretty often. That doesn't help. George said he brought the Orbital bike on board from Ymir too. Maybe it's here. Either way, I want to thank him while I'm down here. About the first factory. There he is! Like any other Orbital Factory, you can... Oh, it's an Orbital Factory. We know. It's that sort of thing. Like, we know. We know. So also, as this area also happens to be the most spacious part of the Courageous, is also where Valimar and the Orbital bike are stored. Eventually, both of these can be customized as well. Eventually. Something I want to check, by the way, is I've been curious, like, what colour would you say Reen's eyes are? Like, they look grey, right? But they got like a hint of purple to them. Now, it's not like some like, oh, grand theory he's coming up with here. It's like, nah, just some of the promotional material has him with very purple eyes. Like on the level of like, say, anyone else we like got in the group? How do I change? Can I not change the group member that I'm going around with? Apparently not. Makes sense though, doesn't it, when you're wandering around? But yeah, it's like some of the promotional material, like his eyes are as purple as like, say, Oliver's or something like that. Oliver's, Olivier, is like, you know the name. Valimar! Greetings, Awakener. Hey, Valimar. I take it your mana's recovered a little now. Affirmative. It stands at 50% replenished. I see that a new power's awakened within you as well. I don't know if I'd call it new, exactly. This power's always been with me. I just didn't understand what it was, or why it was there. I do want to talk about that more later. We had a little discussion down in the comments about that in regards to the word nature that I want to bring up later. Probably do it as like a old schoolhouse type thing, but one of the shrines. Probably the best way of doing it. But thanks to everyone's help, it finally feels like it's a part of me, if that makes any sense. Still, I need to keep practicing using it. I can't have a repeat of what happened aboard the Pantagruel. You appear to be aware of your own limitations. Much like how you learned to better synchronize with me through practice, humans must improve their specifications through similar means. You need only to work towards improvement to gain optimal proficiency for the battles to come. Huh. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Can't help but feel that one day this power will be useful to me as an Awakener too. I won't be able to use it all the time, but I'll do what I can to get better at making use of it. I look forward to it. I bet you do, mate. Bet you do. Using this craft allows Reen to unleash the power within him and fight for several turns in that state. Activating it cures all status abnormalities and increases Reen's strength in battle significantly. Good to know. Do you mind? I'm trying to sleep. I will remain on standby here. Call my name should you require my assistance. Only by devoting yourself to polishing your latent abilities. Polishing? Will you improve, Awakener? Become strong, and you will claim victory when you next cross your paths with the Azure Knight. Back to sleep. Back to sleep. Hey, do you remember me? I'm Peyton, the mechanic from ZCF. Oh, I remember you, mate. I was here during the Courageous maiden voyage earlier in the year, and His Highness asked me to hop aboard again. I won't be here for long, though. As long as I finish going over what George needs to know, I'll be getting off. Still, it's nice to see this baby from the inside again. Like, what are you doing from LaBelle, though? Like, shouldn't you really be heading back? I mean, there's a war on, mate. I was in charge of maintenance on LaBelle's Arcee, too. I wanted to go back to LaBelle, but the war breaking out here kind of makes that impossible. Oh. Well, anyway. Need to focus on going over everything George needs to know to run the ship now. Well, again, that Falcon writing there, it's that sort of like, shouldn't you go back? Like, I can't. Oh. Well, that answers my question, doesn't it? Hey, George. Everything doing okay here? Yeah, the orbital factory is all ready for use. So if you need any work done on your orbits, don't hesitate to let me know. Thanks. I'm sure we'll be taking you up on that very soon. By the way, you're the one who brought the orbital bike on board, right? Guilty as charged. I figured it'd come in handy at some point. It was still in good condition thanks to Eustace, but I did make a few modifications to it. Modifications? Like what? Oh, I changed a few parts so that they'll be better suited to riding off the road. So now you should be able to ride it on rough terrain. Feel free to take it for a spin anytime. We can ride whenever we want? Really? Really? Even if it were to break down or something, it wouldn't be hard to come and collect it with the Courageous. So go ahead and have fun riding it around. Thanks, I've got a feeling it'll come in handy. And to be honest, just the thought of getting to ride it around all over the country gets me excited. Angelica would be proud. Oh, just one thing. About that sidecar we added to it. It was roughed up pretty bad during the attack on the Academy. Sorry. I can fix it for sure, but it's gonna cost a lot of mirror to buy all the materials. So you'll have to go without it for a while, at least until we have the funds to repair it anyway. That's a shame. It is, but what can you do? Oh, one other thing about the bike. What would you say to giving it a brand new paint job? Paint job? Yeah, I saw the special feature in an automotive magazine about painting those recently. I thought it might be kind of fun to give it a shot ourselves, you know? And we got the perfect test subject. I can easily set up a station over there. Why not give it a go if you're interested? I see. That does sound interesting. Yeah, I'll give it a shot once you're all set up. It sounds fun. You can now ride the orbital bike. By pressing the square button on a highway to open the navigation screen and then pressing it again, you can ride the bike wherever you are. You can also now customize the color of the orbital bike. Apparently. Now it's quick travel to win the Courageous by pressing the square button. Yay! Unfortunately, it's been nothing but radio silence from Angie ever since she went back to Row after the festival. I mean, you'd think, with her family being who they are, her safety would be as good as guaranteed, but this is Angie. She and Trouble are best friends. Still, if you guys all ended up safe, there's hope for her yet. She's never let me down before. I'm sure she won't this time. All I want is to see that she's okay. I'm sure you do, mate. No harm will come to her when you're around. We've got standard colouring and that's it. At the moment, anyway. We will change that up. Obviously, it'll be obvious if you've seen the original Let's Play, like what we'll be changing it to. But let's go to the bridge here. Alright, I think I've seen all the key onboard facilities now. Now what's left is to tell Toa where we're going next. Pick the hat. Talking to Toa in the captain's chair will allow you to both select a destination and organize the party. Regardless of who is selected as Reen's support in battle, Reen will tour the Courageous alone. How to board the Courageous. After landing, you can board the Courageous again by pressing the square button to access the navigation menu, followed by pressing the start button. Note that this feature is not available in dungeons or select portions of the story. Checking and reporting quests. You can confirm and report quests by inspecting the orbital computer on the bridge. Reporting quests nets AP, which in turn will periodically raise your student rank and earn new rewards, making it wise to check in frequently. Check student information. That I don't really need, because I've got a guide to make sure I look out for things, so it's like we should be okay there. But I do probably have everything. Ooh, I like this device here. Some kind of handprint device or something like that. Nice to see they've got security going on, that sort of thing. Right, so, yes. Let's see about where we want to go. Got a destination in mind, Reen? I think these are the only places it'd be safe for us to land right now. So we've got Ymir. You can now travel to Ymir using the Courageous. You now travel to Nord. can now travel to the Proving Grounds. Even closer to cross the fortress. You can now travel to Legram. When you've decided where you want to go, let me know and I'll take you there. Will do, thanks.
Where do you want to go?
Where do I want to go? So I'm thinking Legram. It's like, where's the quests? Because we do have several quests here. Like, these are last for me. Well, that's, I'd say these, like, that one's last for me. This one's ongoing constantly, because it's like, yeah, we need to go pick these guys up. So I'm thinking we start from the bottom, with Badass in danger. So Patira's in trouble, those damn noble soldiers, damn it. I'll tell you all at the inn in Legram, okay? Hurry up and get over here. Cargo. I'm thinking, who do we need to really bring with us? It's like... Because I want to change based on what we're doing and stuff like that. So it's like... Well, based on who's around there, I feel like we need Fee. And at the same time... Having Mango there would be a good idea because of the Patiri stuff. That just... makes sense, doesn't it? It just makes complete sense. Just makes complete sense. Like, we can change it up and do stuff later, but it's like, you know. So, yeah, let's go.
Where do you want to go?
Legram!
Leave it to me!
So, it's obviously like, this is where I set up what I'm going to be doing later, so you have an idea of what's going to be happening. We have a quest here, so we will be doing the rounds here. But in future, we may be able to go to Legram, but we don't have a quest there. I may go there for some reason, but if we don't have a quest there, I will not do the rounds there. That's how I'm setting up doing the rounds. It's like to keep some kind of fluidity, some understanding of where I'm going, all that type of stuff. It'll get a nice pattern, and I feel it's more appropriate to what we're doing. Otherwise, it's going to be rounds forever, is the best way of putting it. This way, we've got some control over it. So, Legram rounds. Have you heard? Lord Arsaid came back to Legram. He didn't stay for long, sadly, but being able to see him again in person and hearing he's doing well is more than I could ever have hoped for. Hope that he knows he has nothing to worry about. We all throw our weight behind protecting Legram in his absence. Lord Arsaid was accompanied by Toval and Prince Oliver during his visit. I wish he could have stayed for a while longer, but just being able to see him again was a blessing in and of itself. The citizens of Legram have a duty to keep the town safe so that he won't have a thing to worry about. This is a terrible war, but history tells us that the War of the Lions was even worse. There was no justice in that war. Even the knights who had sworn to protect the country began to plunder it. It might have gotten even worse if Prince Dreichels hadn't stepped in and turned things around. The more I think about it, the more Prince Olivert is common with Prince Dreichels. I wonder if he'll be able to follow in his ancestors' footsteps and bring this war to an end. Prince Olivert reminds me strongly, very strongly, of Prince Dreichels. I wonder if he'll be able to bring this war to its end. Hello there. I've heard about what you're up to these days. You're traveling around on the Courageous gathering information, I believe. As a member of the guild, I'll be happy to do what I can to help, so don't you hesitate to call on me. We'd appreciate that. Well, seeing as you were kind enough to offer, you wouldn't have any interesting information for us, would you? Interesting. Well, how about this? As I'm sure you can imagine, the Noble Alliance has wrestled control of all the country's major towns and cities. But lately, there have been a number of people who've started forming small resistance groups and opposing them. Resistance groups? You don't mean... Supposedly, they've been standing up to the army's tyranny and supporting those who are being oppressed. And while this is just my instinct talking, I can't help but wonder whether they might be people you know. That definitely could be. You wouldn't happen to know where any of these people were, would you? Well, considering they've gone this long without being caught, I'd say they're moving from place to place. Best chance of running into them might be to explore relatively quiet highways. That makes sense. Thank you, Miles. Let's file that nugget away at the back of our minds. Toval and few other familiar faces dropped by not long ago, so I heard about how things are going from them. I'll keep acting as the guild's control tower in Erebony from here on out. I'm convinced all of us share a common goal. Let's do all that we can to push things in the right direction. Right. We appreciate your support, Miles. That was the Radiant Blade Master, head of the Arcade School. I can't believe he's been fighting right under the bad guy's noses all this time. He's way too cool. I want to be big and strong like him someday too. No, forget someday. I want to be like him right now. And Lord Arsade's so darn cool. I'm gonna be just like him when I grow up. And you can take that to the bank. Just watch me. Where's the nearest bank? I think I might have finally seen the Viscount. At least, that's who everyone says I saw. It was super cool. Connor and Julian both really look up to him. I can see why. That Viscount was the coolest. He was even guarding one of the princes too, which makes him even cooler. Lord Arsade is the coolest. But with him away, the junior Eisenritter's job is even more important. Lord Arsade stopped by and you know what he did? Gave me a pat on the head. It's a sign that I'm going to be just like him when I grow up. I know it. Oh yes, quite. So I heard Lord Arsade entrusted you with the Courageous, did he? Since it's the property of the Imperial family, the Alliance will have to carefully weigh how they act toward it. It ought to prove a powerful asset to your cause. Seems Lord Arsade thought so. So put it to good use. Now that the Courageous is openly conducting operations, it's effectively the symbol of Erebonia's neutral forces. Can't help but wonder if Prince Oliver had anticipated it might come to this when he first commissioned it to be built. It's definitely possible. Oh, it's possible, alright. We were so relieved to see Lord Arsade safe and well. Life may be more difficult here now than it was, but we'll get by. Lord Arsade is out there fighting for us. The mists have dissipated somewhat, and above all, I'm here with my family. As long as I have them, I can get through anything life throws as me. It's gonna be at. It's just like, I can get through anything life throws as me. It's like, alright. Is Connor out playing again then? I believe so. I'm sure he'll be fine. He's a smart boy, just like his father. You think? I'd say he's got a lot of growing up to do if he wants to be as smart as his dear old dad. Whatever you say, dear. Oh? I can't imagine you haven't already heard the wonderful news, but Lord Arsade has returned. That's not to say I feared for his safety for even a second, however. He's simply too capable a man to ever be defeated. His finer points extend beyond strength, too. He's a man who values peace above all else and strives to protect the weak. Strong of body and noble of mind. That's our Lord Arsade. We can't laze about here with our hands at our sides with Lord Arsade out there fighting for us. We need to make sure we work to keep the town thriving during his absence. Toval has gone off with Lord Arsade to fight for peace. I'm sure Lord Arsade needs all the help he can get, too. The situation in the west gets more and more dire every day. Toval's a very capable man, so I'm sure his assistance will be a great asset. I wish I could go help him myself, but I suppose I'll have to run my shop as well as possible to show my support. I wish I could go aid Lord Arsade, but I'd be only in the way. I'm sure I'd be glad to have Toval at his side, though. As for me, I'll keep working away right here as I pray for their success. The whole town is so much happier knowing that Lord Arsade is safe and well. It really makes me want to knuckle down and get some serious work done. The harder we all work, the less he has to worry about Legram while he's away. The harder we all work, the less Lord Arsade has to worry about while he's away. Time to really put my back into it. Father Hamilcar actually sat down and talked with Vivi for a while the other day. Not only did he get her to calm down, he's even got her helping out around the church. For all the slacking he does, he can be pretty incredible when the situation demands it. But it's kind of irritating that he was able to do what I couldn't just like that. I wish I knew exactly what he did to calm Vivi down. I tried so hard to cheer her up, but in the end it didn't even matter. Two. But then he just waltzes on in and makes it look so easy. He's got all the makings of an excellent priest. Just wish he put his skills to work more often. Good to see Vivi's calmer now, at least. What do you mean, what'd I do to get her that way? I did what I always do. Nothing. All I did was listen to her. Sadness eats away at you like a disease if you just let it build up. I just let her vent and get some of her worries off her chest. Now that she's done that, she's feeling loads better. It's not a guarantee that it won't build up again, though. So hurry up and find that sister of hers for her, will ya? Oh, you're back. Hey again, Vivi. No updates on Linda's whereabouts since we last saw you, huh? Not yet, at least. I've prayed for her to be okay more times than I can count. I even started watering the plants here for extra Adios brownie points. And they're still not doing very well. I'm useless, both as a gardening club member and as a human being. But I guess it's always been like this. Only ever able to do anything because I've got Linda, and now that I don't... Aww. This isn't you. V? You're the kind of person who loves causing trouble and pulling pranks on everyone. Like Edel, me, Linda, even Reen sometimes. You skip classes and even your club meetings. Pretend to be Linda to embarrass her, and anyone who gets involved. But in the end, you always leave everyone with a smile on their face. It works with the flowers too. They always look so happy whenever you take care of them. So sitting here alone, praying for someone to solve your problems for you, it isn't you. Nobody would be able to stop the Vivi I know from running out and finding Linda herself. He's right. Unless it so happens we're flying the Courageous all over Erebonia now. Can't guarantee you'll find her, but if you come with us, there's a chance you'll hear something about where she might be. So what do you say? Are you willing to lend us a hand? You guys. Of course I will. I don't know what's gotten into me lately, but if anyone should go out there and hunt her down, it's gotta be me. Sisters need to look out for each other, right? Bingo. Welcome to the team, Vivi. Thanks. You're awfully lucky. It's not every day Erebonia's loveliest lady joins a ragtag band of adventurers like you. Vivi was welcomed aboard the Courageous. I brought some food for the students here to eat while they train, but Fritz is the only one here. What should I do? I mean, I probably shouldn't get in the way of his training, should I? Of course not, he's busy concentrating. I don't think I'm ready to be alone with him just yet. Oh. Not that that means anything, though. Mate, I got somewhere to tell... Oh, maybe we shouldn't tell him. It's not our place, no. If you're looking for Gavali and Ares, they're out patrolling at the moment. We've been getting some large, peculiar monsters on the highway lately, so we need to be more alert than ever. In the meantime, I'm training. We intend on protecting the Gram in Master Arsaid's absence. We need to be strong. Our mission is to keep this town safe, but we're just trying to keep monsters away instead of trying to defeat them all. Many of the monsters on the highway are new to us, so it's hard to say for certain whether we could even slay them. All the more reason to keep training so that, should the time come, we'll be ready to do so. Oh, hey guys. Nice to see you managed to find all your Class 7 buddies in the end, Reen. Thanks. I'm pretty happy about that too. How have things been on your end? Still doing alright? So far so good. I'd like to think that I'm making myself useful here in the training hall, doing whatever I can. Not that that's much, though. Basically just taking care of weapon maintenance and importing more when necessary. Sounds useful to me. Allow me to thank you on behalf of everyone here. There's little more helpful than a properly maintained blade. Speaking of helping out, actually, Reen told Casper that they were looking for fellow Thor students to fight with them aboard the Courageous. Me? On the Courageous? Well, I'd love to, but... A quick question. Could you use the Courageous to fly over to the west? I mean, theoretically, sure. We could use it to fly anywhere. That's not part of the area we're responsible for, though. We were told to focus all our efforts on the east side of Erebonia. Honestly, the west is a little too dangerous for us to visit either way. Yeah, that makes sense. I just figured I might be able to go and see how my family was doing over there, that's all. That stands to reason. I forgot that you came from a town near the shore over there. Can hardly blame you for being worried. Yeah, well, whatever. Sorry, but I'm staying here in Legram for now. I'm hoping I'll get the chance to head over there and check on them myself. Alright? That makes sense. What if we can find out for ourselves whether they're safe or not? I haven't read the latest Imperial Chronicle yet. It seems like a long shot, but maybe there's something in there. It's worth a look at least. Oh, come on, there's gotta be something in here that can tell us how Casper's family is doing. Flip right here, this part. What brings you back here? Casper, hear me out. I know you're worried about things back home, but I think chances are good that your family's just fine. Seriously, what makes you think that? Check out 6th and 7th pages. Oh. Reen gave Casper the Imperial Chronicle. The Chronicle? I haven't read one of these in a while. Been too busy worrying to actually... That's at 6 and 7. Right, so somewhere on here is what we need. It suggests that the battle initially began near the coast in the Lemaire province, but as a result of the rebels retreating, it primarily took place farther inland. While the number of refugees unfortunately kept growing over the course of the battle, the height of danger never reached any densely populated areas, and as such civilian casualties are currently thought to be minor. What's page 7 got to do with it? No idea. I gotta read to the end, and that's fine. No way. It's actually talking about the coast. And this... That's where you're from, right? Says that while the battle started near the coast, most of it took place farther inland. That's kept civilian casualties to a minimum. If we assume that this is honest reporting, I'd say it's unlikely that your home or your family were harmed. Wouldn't you agree? Sounds like that area dodged a bullet. Oh man, thank goodness. Can't thank you guys enough for bringing this to me. I've been worried sick about everyone for so long now that this is a massive weight off my shoulders. I can see the relief in your face. Let this be a lesson to you. Always keep up with the news. Yeah, you might be onto something there. Guess I should be reading the papers now more than ever before. But at least now I don't feel quite as much of a need to get over to the west to check up on everyone. So, you got me. I'll join you guys in the Courageous and help out wherever I can. Welcome aboard. Let's fight for our families together. You bet. Casper was welcomed aboard the Courageous. I've heard that you'll be flying around eastern Erebonia aboard the famous Courageous. That's wonderful news. I couldn't believe my ears when I found out that you'd been entrusted with it. Ever since I heard, I've been desperate to tell everyone I know, but all the people I knew already knew what I knew. I was so disappointed. I wish I could run over to the capital and tell everyone there instead. I've long been worried about how other people all over the country are doing. So if you're flying around, please do try and help those in need. And be sure to tell them about all the amazing things you've done in my place. So Casper's going to be joining all of you on the Courageous, is he? I can rest easy if you're all with him. I'm sure he'll be an asset. Hopefully it won't be long before he's reunited with his family. I wonder what he said before. Oh well. Oh hello. Lord Arsaid told me about your plans going forward. Said that you will be forming a neutral faction on your own and traveling around eastern Erebonia aboard the Courageous. That's right. Whether we truly have the strength to achieve our goals remains to be seen, however. Still, as students of Thor's, stop at nothing to do just that. We'll take back our academy from the Alliance, no matter what stands in our way. Whether you have the strength or not, you certainly have the spirit. Even in martial arts, raw strength alone is not everything. It is only by following just principles that one can achieve great things. And from what I see, you certainly aren't lacking in that regard. I have faith that you will be able to do what you set your minds to. Believe in yourselves and follow the path you have chosen. Thank you. We'll try. What you intend to do won't be easy, but I have no doubt that you'll see success in due time. I shall be praying that the goddess watches over you during your travels. Welcome back. Guess what? Lord Arcade came and paid us a visit. He, Toval, and Prince Olivert all seemed really well too. I kept believing they'd all be alright. I'm so glad they were. Their visit was only fleeting, but they seemed to enjoy themselves. I couldn't possibly be happier. So happy to see that they're all well. Prince Olivert even decided to play a tune on his lute for me all of a sudden. He's a fun one, to be sure. I kept believing, and in the end, my wish came true. I'm so happy they're alright. Lord Arcade took off on a liner for the Sutherland province just as soon as he arrived. He supposedly westward bound from there. If you were anyone else, I'd be worried about a strategy like that, but not Lord Arcade. It's gonna be perfectly fine. By the time he returns, he's bound to have a myriad of other achievements to his name. I've no doubt about that. I would say I hope Lord Arcade will go and do us proud, but I know he will. Surprised to see Maria working here. She decided to start helping us out. Tried to tell her it was unnecessary, but she was very insistent, so I ended up giving her the go-ahead. She's really been a big help, though. With all the people stopping here as they flee from the combat in the west, more hands on deck come in handy. Much as I appreciate Maria's assistance, I really don't want her to push herself to help. She's just as much a victim of this war as anyone. Life can't be easy for her right now. The damnable Duke Cayenne. I dismissed him as little more than a pompous idiot with a hideous sense of fashion. But he was playing us for fools the whole time. There he has those soldats and that battleship and... Ugh. If Chancellor Osborne was still alive, things would be playing out differently right now. Very differently indeed. I don't think they would. I'm starting to lose hope that we'll ever make it back to Heimdall. Oh, if only Chancellor Osborne was still with us. It's that sort of thing. The seeds were planted for the Civil War a while ago. So it would have still happened. It would have still happened. Oh, hello there. Welcome to the Apricose. I've decided to start helping out here as a way to pay back the people of Legram. Back. For all the kindness they've showed us. I still have a lot to learn about this job, but practice makes perfect. I'm a little worried about that boy over there. I believe he said his name was Cargo? Tommy has been separated from someone and he seems so worried about them. Wish there was something I could do to help, but I wouldn't even know how to begin. I can't believe we're already halfway through December. But we're not, we're in January. Ordinarily, I'd be sipping champagne and rubbing elbows at a lavish party right about now, yet here I am. Why can't I wake up from this endless nightmare? There's no way this can be real. It must be a nightmare. It just has to be. I can only take so much of my appearance at any given time. Thought I'd come up here and read a book or something. Which seemed like a great idea until I realized this is the only book I own and I've read it like 20 times. Maybe I'll go for a walk or something. I did come to Legram to sightsee after all. We first came here forever ago. I've got nothing better to do, so I might as well head out for a walk. Sure beats sitting around in here. It really beats sitting with Mom and Dad. Sniff. Sop. Patiri. Your Cargo, right? Mango's friend? I know you put in a request for help, but what are you doing all the way out here in Legram? Did something happen? What do you think happened? A bunch of noble soldiers came busting into the Ost district. And that got us really salty, so we gave them some of the old bang kapow. But then they got mad at us and turned the tables. They wouldn't give up either, but then Patiri, damn it. If I passed that correctly, sounds like he really needs our help with something. And I guess Patiri's in trouble? Allow me to translate. The patrolling soldiers' arrogance irritated him and Patiri greatly. In response, they tried setting traps for them using boxes and drum cans in an effort to drive them away. Naturally, this did not go according to plan, as anyone with half a brain would expect. Mango, what are you doing here? I don't need a dork like you to help me sort this out. I can do it just fine on my own. Of course. I can tell from the tears streaming down your face that you're off to a flying start. Mango, I have no idea how you turned what he just said into what you just said, but I'm impressed. It's reminding me of Hot Fuzz. Unfortunately for me, I've had to put up with the two of them for a long time now. You pick up some things after a while. Fairly sure I know how the rest of the story goes too. When the traps failed to have their intended effect, the soldiers gave chase. As they ran, Coco and Patiri lost sight of one another, which led to their current quandary. Yeah, that's right. You're running from them, but then Patiri told me to go on ahead. I'm supposed to meet up here, but she still hasn't shown. Patiri. And we're back. At least we finally figured out what happened. I wonder if this means that the soldiers ended up capturing her, though. Wouldn't be surprised with how heavily guarded the capital is. I'd save your concern. Those two always defy expectations. Don't take a word they say at face value. What's that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean, Mango? Cargo, we should make a few things clear. You two definitely specified Legram as the town to meet up in, correct? That's what I said, didn't I? We were kind of panicking at the time with the soldiers chasing us and all. But Patiri took out a map and pointed right at the part where Legram is. She said we were meeting at a tiny little place in the boonies where no soldiers would ever care enough to find us. Maybe you shouldn't talk about the town like that right in front of all of its residents. Way to show your appreciation. Well, he isn't wrong, technically. And speaking as a resident, I don't find such an apt description offensive. Still, they were using a map, how could there be any mistake? They're both Erebonians, so it's not like they'd end up in different towns. But that would mean... One more question, Cargo. Are you both on the same side of the map when you were doing this? Or were you on opposite sides facing one another? Yeah, we're facing each other, so what? Have you worked something out, Mango? I think so. When they agreed on their destination, one of them was looking at the map upside down. Doubt she ever even mentioned Legram. She probably pointed at the part of the map and said, here. Probably didn't even realize how much of a misunderstanding it would cause. It does sound plausible. Yeah, it's like if you use Heimdall as the reference point in the middle of the map and pointed where Ymir was, you would very much be like, there's Legram, or vice versa. Still, if that's the case, then Patiri's gone off to an entirely different town. We should look for a town that fits her description and is on the opposite side of the capital from Legram. Good thing we have the Courageous. Okay, we're off to find Patiri. Any objections, Cargo? Did you work something out? What are you wasting your time for here, then? If you find her, let me know right away. You better promise. We will. Just stay away from me. Getting snot everywhere. Last time I saw Patiri was in front of the Heimdall station. She told me she was gonna distract the soldiers so I could run. Then she pulled out a map and told me to meet her in a tiny town in the boonies in this part of the country. She definitely put it at Legram. I'm sure she did. But if you find her, promise me you'll let me know. I mean it. Well, Legram's on the south side of the Erebonia. The Erebonia, yeah. So if they're looking at the map from opposite sides, we should start looking for her in the north. Okay, so as an example here, it's like we've come to Ymir as part of the quest, but the quest did not originate here. So we're not doing the rounds here unless a quest starts here. It's that sort of thing is how I want to do the rounds. It's like, keep some kind of balance to everything, so it makes sense. It's like, again, it'll make more sense to go forward, but it makes pretty much sense now, I suppose. Now. Come on, spit it out. Where'd you hide, Cargo? I know you did it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Wait, who's Cargo? Is that Patiri? Well, I'm glad we found her, but can't believe she actually ended up here. Looks like my theory was right on the mark. Well, anyway. Patiri, could you please stop causing problems for strangers? Mango? The hell are you doing here, Yeah, it's not like I should care. It's nice to see your stupid face. I suppose. She's acting a bit odd. Oh well. Glad to see that you're well, too. Seriously, what were you thinking, trying to pick a fight with the army? Heard all about what happened. No good can come from worrying about people so much, you know? What? Look who's talking. Pardon? You got no idea how worried Ost was when we heard you were wanted by the army. Well, we frickin' knew. You were dead in a gutter somewhere. And then Uncle Carl ended up getting arrested on top of it all. Why do you think we started picking fights in the first place? We were scared, we were pissed off, we were... Whatever. It's better for us to do it than letting some amateurs try their luck. So that's what really happened. Sorry, I had no idea that was the case. Sorry for worrying you all so much. Should be saying that to everyone back home, not me. Anyway, that idiot Cargo said he was going to meet me here ages ago. He still hasn't shown up. So you're going to help me look for him. Speaking of Cargo, almost forgot. So she intended for them to meet here, huh? Oh well, no way to know who was in the wrong now. What? You guys know something? Better not have him tied up somewhere, cause if you do... What say we bring him here before she accuses us of anything else? Yeah, probably best. They flew the Courageous to Legram to pick up Cargo, then brought him back to Ymir. Patiri! Cargo! Daw. Oops! Ah! Where the hell have you been all this time? I was freaking out like crazy, you damn pipsqueak. Where the heck was I? Where the heck was you? Ultra headlock time. And that's how Cargo died. Just who are these people? Well, they're, refugees from Heimdall. I really am sorry for all the trouble she caused. I know this is a lot to ask, but would it be possible for them to stay in Ymir until the situation improves there? Well, sure. Not how I picture people from Heimdall to be, but sure. Wow, check it out. It's a really warm-looking pond over there. Watch it, loser. That's clearly a trap. Ain't no way anyone would put something that nice smack dab in the middle of town. Wow, you're right. You're so smart, Patiri. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to have a quick word with them so they don't cause any trouble. Must be tough being you, Mango. I'd like to think we all had our fair share of challenges this time. Still, I suppose all's well that ends well. Lovely. Right, so let's actually end this part here then. I have no idea how long this part will be. It's been 55 minutes of recording for me, so we'll see how much we cut it down to. That's always I like to share that information just so you have an idea of how much is cut out. So we'll see. So yeah, 55 minutes is what I recorded for this part. Let's see what it took it down to. So we'll start the next part by probably doing some snowboarding, going back to the Courageous, and then heading off to the Proving Grounds. We'll see them. Ta-da for now.